Now, learned helplessness is one of the greatest enemies of success in our lifetime. And learned helplessness, based on 25 years of research and millions of dollars at the University of Pennsylvania, is one of the greatest killers of human success, is we learn to be helpless. They have done a whole series of experiments, but one, they took a dog and they put a piece of glass in the middle of a cage, and on one side they put the dog, the other side a delicious piece of meat. And the dog would throw itself at the glass and hurt its nose, and throw itself at the glass and hurt its nose. Throw itself 3 or 4 times at the glass and hurt its nose. Then they take the dog away, and the next day they put them back with the dog and the meat. They did this for 3 or 4 days, and by the 3rd or 4th day, the dog would just sit there passively and not throw itself at the glass because it didn't want to hurt his nose. Then the next day, they just removed the glass and put the dog in the cage next to the meat. And the dog, with the stomach growling and rumbling, would lay there right next to the meat and never reach for it. The dog had been trained to be helpless. The dog believed that it could not get to the meat, so even though there was nothing in the way, the dog just sat there. They took a bunch of university students and they put them into a room. They said, you can leave this room whenever you like. It's up to you, and that's the only instructions that you have. So they went into the room, and the room had several doors, and they closed the doors, and the students went around and checked the doors. The doors were all locked from the outside. As soon as they finished checking, they went and sat down, and then they began to play music. Loud music, terrible music, broken glass, trash can music, outrageous music. Then they began to increase the temperature in the room. They let a foul odor into the room. And so you had this music and this odor and this heat and everything else. And the students just all sat there. Even though the doors had been unlocked as soon as they tried them, the doors were unlocked. They could have left at any time. They had learned to be helpless with one experience. They say humans can learn to be helpless with a single experience. They can try something and instantly conclude, I can't do that. I'm not capable of it. I can't play a sport, can't cook a dish, can't type a type, can't work a telephone. They instantly conclude that they can't do it. And for the rest of their lives, they're helpless. Now, here's an interesting point. Remember, it's not what a man knows what hurts him, it's what he knows what ain't true. And have you ever had an experience where you felt you couldn't do something and then somebody showed you how to do it properly and you found you could do it quite easily? And suddenly your whole belief system changed. Up to that time, you'd always believed you couldn't do it. From that point forward, you believed that you could for the rest of your life. We talked earlier about self-limiting beliefs. One of the self-limiting beliefs is that we are not capable of doing something. We feel learned helplessness. So it's very important that you ask this question, is it true that I can't do it? And the fact is that if hundreds of thousands of millions of other people could ski or skydive or sell or invest in real estate or build businesses, you can do it as well. Don't ever sell yourself short and conclude that you're helpless. Now, the other problem that people have
called psychosclerosis. Psychosclerosis is simply a hardening of the attitudes. A hardening of the attitudes. People with psychosclerosis develop what is called fixed ideas. Fixed ideas lead to rigidity and an unwillingness to change. Both of these lead to getting stuck in the comfort zone. Remember, the natural tendency of all human behavior is for you to start doing something in a certain way and then get stuck in a comfort zone. You get stuck in a comfort zone in your relationship.
Morning, folks. I apologize if you can hear the noise outside. These are some hardworking men and women, mainly men, chopping down wood in my neighborhood. So let them be. No, don't complain about that, please. It's hot outside. This is Florida, so it takes a lot of grit to be doing that. But right now we have just strange looking kind of market. But I do want to see some upside, and I do think I'm able to get my 5 handles this morning. We had a shift in market structure up here. Didn't mark that level. Let's do that right now. So this high being taken out, this short-term swing high, and price leaving Abyssia in there was very telling for me. So of course, ideally, I want to go short in that, and it is also a good candidate for a breaker. Even though this low didn't break this, ideally, I'd want to see high in a lower low for it to be a breaker. So right now we have it as a mitigation block, which is fine. I'm also liking how price is respecting this BISI. So even though the bodies aren't really respecting consequent encouragement all that much, but in a market like what we've been having for the past few weeks, I'm not really expecting the highest level of precision. And of course, we do have these two highs up here, so relative equal highs. So that's a candidate to get rated. I'm really interested to see how long it takes. Typically, from my back test, this small consolidation is normal. There's nothing abnormal about it. We already had the shift in market structure. Now it's just going to sit around for a few minutes, and I really want to see it take off higher. But I just want the 5 handles. That's all I want. I'm not really trying to do too much lately. Just woke up from a nap. It's been a long night. I was up in London, and from 8:30, I was too tired to keep looking at the market, so I took a nap and woke up about half an hour ago. So want to get this 5 handles, and then I'll proceed with my day and do other business activities. So with all that being said, I'll pause the video and come back whenever we have some sort of movement, which it seems like we're about to. Let's look at NQ. It's good. The Dow is acting up. But I like where NQ is at. Halfway there, man. All this just for 5 handles. Strange times we live in. Strange times. All right, folks. I'll be back in a few.
Even if you're not happy in a job, even if you're not satisfied, even with a particular level of income, even if it's not enough, you have to fight the comfort zone, because the comfort zone very soon becomes a rut. And they say that a rut becomes a grave, and the only difference between a rut and a grave is the depth. So be very alert to that, because the great majority of people in our society tend and evolve naturally to get into a comfort zone, to become very rigid defenders of the status quo, to become very hardened in their attitudes. They get into this comfort zone, they fall into this rut, and even if it would be good for them, they don't change.
All right, here you go. So I know some of you have been having a hard time. I've had a few of you DM me about certain things you've been going through with these markets. That's one of the reasons why I removed this. Typically I want to have it right here to hide the AMP. I'm not sponsored by AMP, nothing like that, nor do I want to be sponsored. But yeah, the markets are still working. Forex not as well, but Silver Bullet, I've really put in a lot of effort towards it, and I'm planning on doing a lot more to really achieve a certain level of mastery when it comes to May. So that's the direction I'm moving. I didn't even put this trade on any funded accounts, any challenges, nothing. This is just my 5 handles, just because. Not that I necessarily need it. It's really one of those things. Once I get my 5 handles, then it's like I have some sort of clarity to go about my day. So this is what this was about. I know I haven't recorded a lot of trade executions lately, mainly because they don't get that many views. Let's be honest. They don't get that many views. And I get a few really good comments, and of course I always appreciate those. But trade executions don't get that many views, so I don't really do them anymore. But if you guys enjoy it, just let me know, and I'll make them every other day or whenever I execute a trade. Even if it's a loser, I'll still upload it, and hopefully you guys learn a thing or two from that. With all that being said, folks, it was wonderful recording something for you all. It's been quite too long. So hope we can do this again tomorrow, same time, from 10 to 11. We got it done way too quick. It's 10:16, and we already got the 5 handles, already got the silver bullet. But that's good. That's a good sign. I'm happy. So I'll have a good day. I have a couple other things to do, but we'll talk more tomorrow.